Matt Scratch here, and today I wanted to talk to you a bit about flat rate. And if you don't know what flat rate is, basically every specific job in the auto industry has a book time, like a set time in a book that it should take to do that job. And so techs get paid based on that book time rather than how long it actually takes them to do the job. Meaning that if it says 4 hours in the book for the job they're doing and it takes them six, and they are working 2 hours for free. So not only are they're missing out on that 2 hours of pay, but they're missing out on opportunity to work on another job for 2 hours and make money. So it really creates a rushed hustle type environment, and companies obviously like this because it increases productivity and keeps jobs moving out the door, and they're guaranteed not to have to pay more than book time on there, so they're pretty well got their profits are guaranteed no matter what goes wrong with that job. That's kind of on the tech, and I think that's wrong. They're like, basically transferring their stresses to the tech. When a job goes south for a large company like a dealership or something, and they end up having to front some labor or parts to correct a situation, or whatever the case, they've got their reputation on the line there, and so they have that incentive to want to correct that situation and do it properly. But a technician put in that same situation, he doesn't really have a reputation with the public. So his main priority is going to be securing a paycheck. So he's going to do whatever he can to expedite that repair process, so that he can, move on to the next job and get his hours in there. And that doesn't always spell quality. So you as the customer could be suffering from that. And I'm not saying this happens on every job, because there's a lot of good techs out there, and most of them are not trying to rip anybody off or do a bad job, but stuff happens. Cars don't always come apart as they are planned to. Some things break or whatever, and there's different ways as a tech that you can handle those situations. And if you're in a rush, you may handle it differently than if you weren't. So that's basically the gist of it, is that it puts the industry into hustle mode, and haste makes waste. It doesn't translate to quality, it translates to profits, and that's the whole system was invented to preserve profits for the big guy, as far as I can see. It certainly doesn't do anything to increase quality for the customer. So I really wish that some guidelines or something would be brought in, maybe into the industry, regarding flat rate, to make it better for the customer in those situations. But it's the nature of the beast. I mean, I don't agree with a lot of things that car dealers do. I don't think that car dealers are in business to help their customers. They're in business to make money. And I say car dealers because they are, the number one people to employ the flat rate, system. So there are still independent shops out there paying straight time, and I would recommend finding one of those shops to have your vehicle serviced at, because no matter how good the tech is, that's a lot of pressure to be putting on anybody. They got a family at home, and they're trying to bring home a paycheck and put food on the table and pay bills. And when you start forcing them to choose between that and your vehicle's well-being, well, your vehicle's well-being might be suffering a little bit to benefit their paychecks. So watch out for that.